Welcome back to more Pokemon Light 2. So last time we made it to Striaton City. We saw how the triplets are getting on. We also explored the place, and yeah, I decided that this time it's going to be movie time again. I did do the big same in Small Court. Everyone but Serena and Vitra gained a level, and then the only notable item I got was a PP Max. So yeah, everyone's level 81. I believe that's a pretty good benchmark. So yeah. Anyway, I guess we'll put back on the Dazzle Machine, and yeah, let's take on our next movie series. This is probably one of my favorites, I think. Like, I guess genre-wise, I wouldn't say genre-wise. I guess premise-wise, I think is the right word. We're going to be doing the big monster series. So a giant organism appears and their UDF goes to action. I can also consider this like a sequel to the Invader series too. It's still the Universe Defensive set, but anyway. This one's pretty simple. You just need a loss of 4 scenes and don't knock out your foe. So yeah, should be pretty simple. So yeah, we'll use the rental for this, and yeah, let's record this and do one. Alright, so yeah, let's watch this movie now. We're going to be doing Big Monster 1, the Titanic Tyranitar. So yeah, let's watch it. So yeah, it's really always to tell, but yeah, Big Monster Series is supposed to be a Kaiju movie series. All about, big monsters, and this one's obviously based on the most famous one, Godzilla. So yeah. And yeah, Tarata does look a lot like Godzilla too. I don't know if the design is actually based on Godzilla, but yeah. When you do think of Godzilla like Pokemon, yeah, Tarata is one of the first to come to mind, so yeah. So yeah, we just stall it out, slack off, and there's no reason not to use it every turn basically, so yeah, you might as well do that. So yeah, not much to say that, but again, the premise is very interesting. Again, there might be some references to Kaiju movies in here that I'm not aware of, because I haven't watched one. Okay, I wonder if that weird light has something to do with it. There's like characters later on as well that I feel like might be a reference to, so yeah. Anyway. Again, like I said, the premise is really cool because again, it's making use of a Pokemon that resembles a popular movie character. That's pretty cool. And then having a story built around it too. So yeah, I mean that's really neat. So yeah, we got a stranger I need to get to. And yeah, I think that's also one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite premises for a Pokemon Studio movie. So yeah. So there we are. Alright, so yeah. Like I said, that's a pretty fun one, I must admit. So now let's go and get the strange running. It's pretty simple one. We just need to knock out the Tyranitar. My team will be plenty strong for that. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And yeah, of course, we're going to be unlocking the next movie too. We got another 4 movie series. I think most of them are 4 movies. I mean, the next one I'm going to do is the only one that's 3 movies. So yeah. Anyway, let's give this a go. So we got Big Monster, that's for later. Big Monster, once again, like I said, we need to actually knock out the Poe this time to get the strange endings. So yeah, let's do that. And then we got plenty of Pokemon we can do this. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. So yeah, we do knock it out. We get very cocky, and then yeah, that's our downfall right there. So yeah. It's kind of because of the strange light did to us, but yeah, we actually learned that it can talk, so yeah. Sure, it'd be important later, but yeah, that's kind of a very goofy, strange ending, but yeah, a lot of them are to be fair, so yeah. But yeah, I guess back to the premise of this for me too. So I feel like for a while, Tyranitar was my favorite Pokemon. Then I thought Starmie was my favorite Pokemon because, again, it meant the most to me, thanks to hardcore playthrough. But yeah, I feel like Tyranitar was like one of the first Pokemon I considered my favorite, so yeah. So again, I think that's another reason why this movie kind of resonates with too. Is again, it is all about the big monster Pokemon that is Tyranitar, so yeah. So yeah, I thought that'd be interesting too. But yeah, it is a very good Pokemon, so yeah, it does make sense why I'd like it a lot, so yeah. It'd be fun to use in a playthrough too, potentially. Of course, yeah, it does come down to, can I get to level 55 not too painfully, and also can will the sandstorm not be too annoying as well, so yeah. That's something else to consider too, so yeah. Anyway, we get our awards, and yeah, now it's time for our next movie, Big Monster 2. And yeah, we're going to be flying a prop this time, so that should be interesting. So yeah. And obviously, I want to get all those good dialogue choices, so yeah. Well, that's one thing I need to be, I guess, a bit careful of too, because the dialogue choices are a bit stranger in this one from testing it out earlier, so yeah. Anyway. So let's do Big Monster 2 now. We need to knock out the prop in 15 scenes. The UDF rushes to action when Odd Scream is head during patrol, so yeah. So M1 is a steel type with analytic, and it has Iron Head, Surf, Spark, and Earthquake, so yeah. Kind of scary sounding, so yeah, let's film this. Let's use the rentals, and let's see how we do. Alright, so let's do Big Monster 2, the Mechanical Menace. So yeah, let's go ahead and watch this one. Okay, dokie. So yeah, that battle, I realized one thing about it. The light screen basically did nothing, so I could have went for Brine on turn one, then put the Sunny Day up. The only problem is obviously getting flinched by Ironhead. That's just kind of how it goes. Then yeah, once the sun is up, Slowbro goes down, Typhlosion comes in, and then obviously goes to Overheat, so yeah. So that's kind of how that movie goes, so yeah. Yeah. Of course, though, let's talk about the other rooms. So the Mecha Tarata. So yeah, it's obviously based on Mecha Godzilla, because yeah, that's a thing too. I think one of my main like exposures to you Kaijus is the Kaiju archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh! A very very interesting archetype because yeah, you can use the idea behind them is that yeah, if you have a Kaiju, then you can trip your opponent's monster, and then they go to their side of the field. And then if there's a Kaiju on the field, then you can special summon your own Kaiju, I believe is how they work. And yeah, there is a mecha version of the Godzilla-like Kaiju as well, so yeah. So yeah, that's like one thing I remember. I think Mega Godzilla is supposed to be a big deal, but I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. But again, yeah, the idea is pretty simple. You have a severe level disadvantage, so yeah, what you need to do is obviously set the sun and then go for the overheat. Do a lot of damage, and then yeah, 2 overheats will take out Mech-Tyranitar. Again, it is a pure steel type, so yeah. And yeah, because I look to it, it also hurts Typhlosion a lot with Ironhead, so yeah. You can also make it use Spark on the second dialogue choice, but then you have the risk of a paralysis, which isn't great, so yeah. Anyway, so what we need to do now, it's going to be Serena's time to shine, so I need to give Serena a non-attacking move, so that's not good. I guess I'm going to have to scroll down like this. And yeah, I think I'll just go with Sword Stance. Yes, yeah, at the moment, yeah, Serena only has attacking moves, so yeah. So I'll go with Stonehenge for the time being. There you are. And then yeah, I'll get Stonehenge back after this, so yeah. Alright. So yeah, we obviously get Big Monster 3. And yeah, now we're going to be doing Big Monster 2. But yeah, for the rest of these movies, we need to last the whole scene, so yeah, this is going to be a little bit. So yeah, let's film it, and yeah, let's do that. That was an interesting exchange ending. So yeah, unable to take on Mechatyranitar. So instead, yeah, the worker came in and then sacrificed himself to take it out. So yeah, that's interesting, I must admit. So yeah, very interesting exchange in that one. So yeah. Hey, one thing I should have mentioned about this V2, I guess while we're going to pick up items, is that yeah, we do get kind of a Mechatyranitar as a Pokemon later in Iron Thorns. Iron Thorns is considered that great. I think the problem is that it does have the Times for ground weakness, and its stats aren't amazing. They're good, but I think they could have been a bit better. I think it's not quite fast enough. I think is the issue. I can't remember the stats off the top of my head, but yeah. I mean, that's kind of the idea. So it's actually not as good as actual Tyranitar. I think it has less stats to work with, so I guess that kind of makes sense. So yeah. Yeah, Iron Balls does look a lot like Mechatyranitar just. Yeah, Mechatyranitar does let. Well, Iron Balls should be saying. Iron Balls looks a lot more futuristic, which fits a lot better with, being a future paradox Pokemon. So yeah. Mechatyranitar does look a little bit more old school, I guess you could say. So yeah. Anyway, though. Yeah, Stalling Out's not too bad. I picked a different dialogue choice, the one that makes you use Spark, so if you have a ground type Pokemon, you'll be just fine. If you have a Volt Sword Pokemon, you might be able to just use that. If it's going for Iron Head a lot, if you make it Stark with Iron Head, and then yeah, you can Volt Sword and get your health back after that, so yeah. So that's not a bad option either, so yeah. So as usual, I'm gonna take a little break. And then, yeah, we're gonna go into 3 and 4 now. We're gonna see how this plot continues. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so let's take on Mecha. Oh, not Mecha. Big Monster 3. That's what the movie's actually called. So yeah, Tyranitar reappears. Mysterious lights tried to knock out all foes of 15 Cs this time. So yeah, let's use the rental Pokemon and let's give this a go. Okay, so yeah, we're doing Big Monster 3 now, Mysterious Beach. So yeah, let's go and watch it and let's see what happens. cities. So yeah, what was kind of interesting. So you got the Titanic Triceratops King who stole the body of a woman and then used it to talk to us. And yeah, it looks like they're on our side because they were testing us to see if we are strong enough to take on the main villain of the stories. So yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah, the battle itself, it's a pretty simple one. Starmie, sets up Reflect and then does as much damage again as it can, and then Slowbro can come in. You use Raynance to get rid of the sand. It's not necessary, I think. And you don't want to use on the first one because then the second will come in and then cancel it out. So yeah, with Sandstream. But yeah, Rain is definitely a good way to deal with Taratar, especially with our attacks because it gets the special defense boost in the sand. So yeah, so it's definitely a good thing to stop that and also do extra damage too. So yeah, I don't think you're that. I don't think you're really out of level this one with that one either, so that's interesting. So yeah, I think one of the strange things is that it outsped the first Taratar with Slowbro. I don't think it has an Iron Ball. The second one makes sense because it's using a minus priority move, but yeah, that's a little bit strange. But anyway, now with that though, yeah, let's so yeah. So that's kind of how that goes, and yeah, I think even the plot of that one's kind of interesting too. Yeah, the Weird Light is definitely an interesting card again. I don't know if that's a thing you see in a Kaiju movie, but hey. It does seem kind of interesting. And yeah, Millet Philosophy, that one is a doozy, so yeah, at least to get the good ending on, so yeah. There's so many ways you can tackle it, so yeah, we'll see how I decide to. Anyway, you want to do obviously this though. Again, we just lost for the whole scene, so yeah, should be pretty easy considering what moves they were using, so yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so yeah, we take too long, and then yeah, Tarata King decides to possess our body instead. So yeah, that happened. That battles the show to come a weird interaction. Moves can run out PP. Well, opponent moves can run out PP in Pokestars Studios, but they won't switch to Nami because that could break a few scripts, I guess. So yeah. Sounds interesting to see now, and it's good to know as well. So yeah. Again, yeah. I do wonder what the deal of this Tarata King is though. What they were like before, yeah, they had start possessing other people's bodies and stuff like that, so yeah. Anyway. It also kind of shows that, yeah, they're kind of on their side, but not like fully, you know, I guess. So that's a little bit interesting to think about as well, so yeah. Anyway, though, we have one more movie, and then obviously the strange ending for that. Again, this one's a bit tricky. There's a lot of ways you can go about those, so yeah. I don't think it's actually that hard to get the good ending, but trying to follow the script, I think, is quite difficult. In fact, I'm probably not going to, so yeah. There's a reason why later, so yeah. I'll tell you why later, but anyway. So now I'll do this. Get that nice full restore. And yeah, now we're going to over here. Alright, let's get this movie a go then. So yeah. And not much to say about that last one again. I think you can kind of tell that was the direction it was going to go, I felt like, once like the strange ending started, so yeah. But anyway, let's take on this last one then. So yeah, so shoot the pill now. We are doing Big Monster 4. MT reappears. It's time for the final battle with the UDF. So yeah, we have another prop this time. It is actually part electric this time, which is interesting. It has a scope lens, which is very annoying, but it also has flash fire, which is very important for this battle. So yeah, I'm gonna be filming with Serizawa this time, so that's interesting. So yeah, let's film and let's use the rental Pokemon, and then yeah, this will probably give an idea of why I think this movie is a little bit strange. So yeah. Anyway, let's give this a go. Alright, here we go, last one. So Return of Mecha Taranta in Big Monster 4. Let's see what I decide to do. So, yeah, that one, yeah. I think I'll pull out the plot first. Again, it's kind of interesting. You got this greedy businessman made another Mechaturtle to specifically fight us with, and then, yeah, we will take him down. He got away, but yeah, the Radiant gave us enough info that, yeah, we'll catch, arrest, and yeah, he won't be able to make another one of those. And yeah, Titanic King came in clutch with the piece of ice that I used a few times earlier, but anyway. Yeah. So yeah, the thing about that battle is that I think it's actually very easy to win, but the way you do it is kind of lame in my opinion, because your duration goes a skill swap. It gets Flash Fire, and then the second dialogue choice makes it go for Flamethrower. And then it's just going to use Flamethrower for the entire battle, so then Duocean could just Side Shock it down. But considering, that's a very slow method, I thought that I really wanted to get Slowbro into the mix. Problem with Slowbro though is you need to be very careful, because the Flamethrowers still do quite a bit, and it has a scope lens, so most runs are just going to end due to getting unlucky and getting crit, so yeah. That got very lucky though on my end. He crit me, so I thought it was over, but then I got the burn, and I thought I could win with that, and yeah, it was, so yeah. So that's interesting. It does, in the script it says to use the weather, but yeah, I wouldn't do that, because you're gonna power up its Flamethrower. So, again, you need to be very careful of that. If you just go for the Trick Room like I did, you'll obviously outspeed, you'll control the battle a little bit easier. And then yeah, Flamethrowers, they're around a 4x KO, I think, without the burn, so yeah, it's a weird battle, that one. Again, I'm not really sure what the best way to go is. Again, the version's guaranteed to win, but again, I don't know. Kind of seems a bit lame, but that also means that yeah, the version is one of your best bets for the strange ending, actually. Unless, of course, you want to be like me and use one of your other Flash Fire Pokemon. So yeah, I'm gonna take Mika here, and then yeah, we're gonna be getting the strange ending with them. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Once again, yeah, we just lost a while, so yeah, let's do that. And yeah, after we do the bangs, that means yeah, we're done with the big monsters. So that means yeah, we'll avoid the next one. That one I have some opinions on, so yeah, anyway. So yeah, let's get this strange ending, and yeah, let's finish off this series. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. Yeah, so he convinces us by threatening us and then also 100 times our salary, so yeah, that's definitely a strange ending, alright, so yeah. Not much else to say there, so yeah, that's it again. You can basically make a use flamethrower, if you have flash type Pokemon, that is it, and like I said, yeah, you can easily do that with the Duocean, with the rental as well. So yeah. So yeah, again, I really like this movie series, to be honest. Again, like I said, the premise of it, I think that's really cool. I mean, the story itself is fine. It's not the best story we've seen, but yeah. Still, that's pretty cool, and yeah, highlights very cool Pokemon as well in Tyranitar, so yeah. So I think it's a pretty cool one. Anyway, we also got some bad endings too, so we'll be sure to do those as well, so yeah. Yeah, let's also get all our wonderful prizes as well. And yeah, that only means 2 more to go as well. So yeah, not long to go with these movies, isn't there? But there isn't much game left either, so I might try to speed these up a little bit. I'm not 100% sure how I want to do it, but I guess we'll see. But anyway, although yeah, I don't want to go on to the next one though because I can't wait to talk about it. So yeah. So who knows? We'll see what I decide to do. But anyway, I do like to say them out. 1, yeah, these videos take a while to make. These books are studios ones, and then 2, yeah, I think it's just better if they're spaced out too. So yeah, that's just kind of how it feels. But anyway, so yeah, let's go back and actually, because yeah, I was going to show the money we get at the start of the next part. And then yeah, we'll save the game, and then yeah, we'll save the game, and then yeah, we'll move on to the Part 2 play to see what these bannings are like. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. How about some bad endings this time? So yeah, let's do big ones. One for all these, I'm pretty sure it's get knocked out. So yeah, let's give this a little look. Yeah, that one's yeah, what you expect. We failed to defeat it, and it goes ahead and destroys the town. Yeah, not much else to it than that. So yeah. Weird thing though is that Crunch is not the bad dialogue choice, it's Giga Impact, so you know, I'm pretty sure Crunch does more damage to Slowbro, but whatever, I guess. Anyway, let's look at Big Monster 2 now. was a cool bad ending, I must admit. Like, yeah, I did not see it coming at all, and then, I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but hey. But yeah, apparently, there was a training exercise, and we did so badly that we had to restart training, and it sounds like it's going to be very punishing. So, yeah, I actually kind of like how they spun that, to be honest. So, yeah. That's kind of one reason why I like looking at these bannings, I must admit. So, yeah. And let's do Big Monster 3 this time and see how it ends. Alright, so yeah, we get knocked out, and then yeah, no one believes us, so we just think that whatever happened was a dream. So yeah, which probably doesn't end well considering what happens in the next movie. So yeah, and like that one as much as the second one, but I think it was kind of interesting. Still, the first one was kind of boring to be honest. So yeah, it's kind of what you expect anyway. Let's see how this one goes. Now this time around, we're the ones who self-sacrifice ourselves. This time we're two explosion Pokemon, so it's actually kind of an interesting way to do that. So yeah, my probably doesn't end well though, which is why it's a bad ending. So yeah. So yeah, that'll be that for now. So we're done with the Big Monsters series, and like I said though, I really can't wait for the next movie. But next time, I was actually bringing the Dream Yard, but there is something very useful you can do before you go to the Dream Yard, let's just say. Especially if you're playing on Black too, so I think we're actually going to be heading to Cumulative Town next part. So yeah, look forward to that, and I'll see you guys again for that.